Day 76, Deuteronomy 17-20. When Israel asked for a king, and God answered with a law. Deuteronomy 17. Moses establishes the foundations of Israel's legal and religious system, unblemished sacrifices, rigorous investigation of idolatry requiring multiple witnesses, the Supreme Court for hard cases, and the law of the king. The king may not multiply horses, wives, or gold, must be a native Israelite, and must personally copy the Torah to read it every day of his life. The text anticipates Solomon's failure by centuries with remarkable precision. Deuteronomy 18. The sustenance of priests and Levites is guaranteed by their portions of the sacrifice and the firstfruits, because Yahweh is their inheritance. Moses then draws the sharpest dividing line in the Torah. On one side, the occult practices of the nations, divination, sorcery, necromancy, child sacrifice, all to Ava. On the other, Yahweh's alternative, a prophet like Moses who will speak God's own words, and the criterion for recognizing him, the word that does not come to pass was not from Yahweh. Deuteronomy 19. The law of cities of refuge, 3 cities set apart to protect the unintentional killer from the avenger of blood. The distinction between killing with hatred and killing by accident reveals that the Torah takes the intention of the heart seriously. The chapter closes with the law of witnesses, the prohibition of moving a neighbor's boundary marker, and the lex talionis applied to the false witness. She receives exactly the punishment she planned for the innocent. Deuteronomy 20. The law of holy war. Do not fear the enemy's superior army, because Yahweh is the one who fights for Israel. The priest addresses the troops before battle. 4 categories of military exemption: new house, new vineyard, betrothed wife, faint heart. Before attacking, offer peace. And a striking ecological law. During the siege, do not cut down fruit trees. And tomorrow, Day 77, Deuteronomy 21-23. If this reading opened the Word for you, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a single day of our chronological journey through the Bible. Deuteronomy 17. You shall not sacrifice to Yahweh your God an ox or a sheep in which is a defect or anything evil, for that is an abomination to Yahweh your God. If there is found among you, within any of your gates which Yahweh your God gives you, a man or woman who does that which is evil in the sight of Yahweh your God, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, or the sun, or the moon, or any of the army of the sky, which I have not commanded, and it is told you, and you have heard of it, then you shall inquire diligently. Behold, if it is true, and the thing is certain, that such abomination has been done in Israel, then you shall bring out that man or that woman who has done this evil thing to your gates, and you shall stone them to death with stones. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he who is to die be put to death. At the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first on him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So you shall remove the evil from among you. If there arises a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within your gates, then you shall arise and go up to the place which Yahweh your God shall choose. You shall come to the Levitical priests, and to the judge who shall be in those days. You shall inquire, and they shall give you the verdict. You shall do according to the verdict which they shall give you from that place which Yahweh shall choose. You shall observe to do according to all that they shall teach you. According to the law which they shall teach you, and according to the judgment which they shall tell you, you shall do. You shall not turn away from the verdict that they shall give you, to the right hand or to the left. The man who acts presumptuously in not listening to the priest who stands to minister there before Yahweh your God, or to the judge, that man shall die. You shall remove the evil from Israel. All the people shall hear and fear and no longer act presumptuously. When you have come to the land which Yahweh your God gives you, and possess it and dwell in it, and you say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are around me. You shall surely set him king over you, whom Yahweh your God shall choose. One from among your brothers you shall set king over you. You may not put a foreigner over you who is not your brother. Only he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he may multiply horses, because Yahweh has said to you, You shall not go back that way again. He shall not multiply wives to himself, that his heart not turn away. He shall not greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. It shall be, when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write himself a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the Levitical priests. It shall be with him, and he shall read from it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahweh his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them, that his heart not be lifted up above his brothers, and that he not turn away from the commandment, to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children, in the middle of Israel. Deuteronomy 18. The Levitical priests, all the tribe of Levi, shall have no portion nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat Yahweh's offerings made by fire and his portion. They shall have no inheritance among their brothers. Yahweh is their inheritance, as he has spoken to them. This shall be the priest's due from the people, from those who offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, that they shall give to the priest, the shoulder, the 2 cheeks, and the stomach. You shall give him the first fruits of your grain, of your new wine, and of your oil, and the first fleece of your sheep. For Yahweh your God has chosen him out of all your tribes to stand to minister in Yahweh's name, him and his sons forever. If a Levite comes from any of your gates out of all Israel where he lives, and comes with all the desire of his soul to the place which Yahweh shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of Yahweh his God, as all his brothers the Levites do, who stand there before Yahweh. They shall have equal portions to eat, besides that which comes from the sale of his patrimony. When you have come into the land which Yahweh your God gives you, you shall not learn to do the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who tells fortunes, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer, or a charmer, or someone who consults with a familiar spirit, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh. Because of these abominations, Yahweh your God drives them out from before you. You shall be blameless before Yahweh your God. For these nations that you shall dispossess, listen to those who practice sorcery and to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your God has not allowed you so to do. Yahweh your God will raise up to you a prophet from among you, of your brothers, like me. You shall listen to him. This is according to all that you asked of Yahweh your God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again Yahweh my God's voice, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I not die. Yahweh said to me, They have well said that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers, like you. I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I shall command him. It shall happen, that whoever will not listen to my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. You may say in your heart, How shall we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in Yahweh's name, if the thing doesn't follow nor happen, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. Deuteronomy 19. When Yahweh your God cuts off the nations whose land Yahweh your God gives you, and you dispossess them, and dwell in their cities and in their houses, you shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves in the middle of your land, which Yahweh your God gives you for a possession. You shall prepare the way and divide the territory of your land, which Yahweh your God causes you to inherit, into 3 parts, that every manslayer may flee there. This is the case of the manslayer who shall flee there and live. Whoever kills his neighbor unintentionally, not hating him in time past, as when a man goes into the forest with his neighbor to chop wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, and the iron head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies. He shall flee to one of these cities and live, lest the avenger of blood pursue the manslayer while his heart is hot and overtake him, because the way is long, and strike him mortally, whereas he was not worthy of death, since he didn't hate him in time past. Therefore I command you, saying, You shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves. If Yahweh your God enlarges your border, as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land which he promised to give to your fathers, if you keep all this commandment to do it, which I command you today, to love Yahweh your God, and to walk always in his ways, then you shall add 3 more cities for yourselves, in addition to these 3. That innocent blood not be shed in the middle of your land, which Yahweh your God gives you for an inheritance, and so blood would be on you. But if any man hates his neighbor, and lies in wait for him, and attacks him, and strikes him mortally so that he dies, and he flees into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and bring him there, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Your eye shall not pity him, but you shall put away the innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with you. You shall not remove your neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set, in your inheritance which you shall inherit, in the land that Yahweh your God gives you to possess. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin that he sins. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall a matter be established. If an unrighteous witness rises up against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both the men, between whom the controversy is, shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges who shall be in those days. The judges shall make diligent inquisition. Behold, if the witness is a false witness, and has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he had thought to do to his brother. So you shall remove the evil from among you. Those who remain shall hear and fear, and such evil shall not be done again among you. Your eyes shall not pity. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Deuteronomy 20. When you go out to battle against your enemies, and see horses, chariots, and a people more than you, you shall not be afraid of them. For Yahweh your God is with you, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. It shall be, when you draw near to the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak to the people, and shall tell them, Hear, Israel, you draw near today to battle against your enemies. Don't let your heart faint. Don't be afraid or panic, or be terrified because of them. For Yahweh your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. The officers shall speak to the people, saying, What man is there who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. What man is there who has planted a vineyard and has not used its fruit? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man use its fruit. What man is there who has pledged to be married to a wife, and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. The officers shall speak further to the people, and shall say, What man is there who is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return to his house, lest his brother's heart melt as his heart. It shall be, when the officers have finished speaking to the people, that captains of armies shall be appointed at the head of the people. When you come near to a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace to it. It shall be, if it gives you answer of peace, and opens to you, then it shall be that all the people who are found therein shall become forced laborers for you, and shall serve you. If it will make no peace with you, but will make war against you, then you shall besiege it. When Yahweh your God delivers it into your hand, you shall strike every male of it with the edge of the sword. But the women, and the little ones, and the livestock, and all that is in the city, even all its plunder, you shall take for plunder for yourself. You shall eat the plunder of your enemies that Yahweh your God has given you. Thus you shall do to all the cities which are very far from you, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these peoples, that Yahweh your God gives you for an inheritance. You shall save alive nothing that breathes, but you shall utterly destroy them. The Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as Yahweh your God has commanded you, that they not teach you to do after all their abominations which they have done to their gods, so would you sin against Yahweh your God. When you shall besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, you shall not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them, for you may eat of them. You shall not cut them down, for is the tree of the field a man, that it should be besieged by you? Only the trees which you know are not trees for food, you shall destroy and cut them down. You shall build bulwarks against the city that makes war with you, until it falls. We close here day 76 of our chronological journey through the Word. In Deuteronomy 17 through 20, the Torah presents a God who thinks of everything, the king's heart that must not be lifted up, the prophet Yahweh will raise to speak his words, the city that shelters the innocent fugitive, and the soldier who need not fear because the Lord fights for him. Every law reveals a facet of Yahweh's character, just, merciful, wise, and faithful. Until next time, day 76 complete.